What's up, everybody? I'm Mckenty. This is my second channel where I talk about business and marketing and personal development and all that other kind of non-music stuff that's not fit for my main channel. In this video, I wanted to talk about the thing that is on everybody's mind 24/7 right now: quarantine, coronavirus, all that stuff. Just kind of thought I would talk about how it's affecting us, meaning me and my wife and the businesses that I work on, because I think it's, I don't know, at least to me, it's comforting in times like this to hear from other people and see that they're going through a lot of the same things that I am, or maybe get some ideas on how they're dealing with it in a way that might be helpful to me. Before I get into this, if you haven't yet, add me on LinkedIn, because there's a lot of cool shit happening over there, and if you add me, you will see why. So the main thing is we are working from home. My wife works for Amazon, so she's able to do her work from home pretty easily. I've been working from home for the past 2.5 years or so, I guess. So it's not really a change for me other than the fact that she's here, and you know, we just kind of set up a little desk for her on the dining room table, and other than that, I don't know, just kind of the same as usual for me. So I consider myself very fortunate in that regard, that it isn't really a big adjustment for me like I know it is for a lot of other people. You know, I'm used to doing everything on Slack and Zoom and FaceTime and iMessage and all that other kind of stuff. You know, I only see the people I work with, I don't know, 3 or 4 times a year if I'm lucky. That's for my day job, URM Academy, which I did a video about this a couple weeks ago, but that is the thing I spend most of my time on. That's an online school for music producers that I help run with A.L. Levy and some other people. I did a podcast with him if you want to hear more about that. And then on the YouTube side of things, YouTube and podcast, all my other content, that stuff is down. And I was kind of not surprised, or I was kind of surprised by that, because I figured with more people being home, they would want more content, and therefore that views would be up on that stuff, but that's not the case. Views on my YouTube channel are down, I would say 30 to 50%, maybe somewhere around there. Kind of a lot. For example, like the video I put out yesterday about the Tony Hawk Pro Skater soundtrack, that right now, let me see where that's at right now. 32,000 views, which is, I mean, I'm not complaining about that. I know a lot of people will be really happy to have 32,000 views on something in a day, but for me, that's less than I would expect. I would have thought that would be closer to 50 or 60 in a day. And then the video before that I did last week about vinyl, physical media, that has only done 33,000 in a week. So that's definitely way lower than average. And I talked to Fluff, Ryan Bruce, the guitar YouTuber. He said the same thing. Views are down for him too. So I don't really know why that is. The only thing I can think of is that everybody is putting out a lot of content right now because we're all sitting at home. Nobody's traveling or going to shows or anything like that. So everyone's putting out content. You know, if you look at Instagram, people are doing IG Live every 10 seconds. Like, everybody on my timeline is doing IG Live, which is great. They should. I'm glad that people are taking advantage of this. But just because people are putting out so much content, the eyeballs are spread a little bit thinner. Or if people are at home consuming stuff, it's, you know, related to the news. Maybe a lot of the attention that people have is going towards hitting refresh on CNN.com or whatever and looking at the latest numbers, which I stopped doing a couple days ago. Not that I don't care. I was just kind of like, is this really going to help me? I don't think it is. I mean, obviously I want to be informed, but is it helpful to me to check on the news every 2 hours? Probably not. It's probably just freaking me out. But anyhow, I think that's part of what's going on with YouTube. Or maybe I just suck. Maybe the stuff I'm putting out is terrible and people don't like me anymore. I don't know. Like, that's where my mind immediately goes. It's like, oh, even though I know Fluff's views are down too, and I've heard other people say the same thing, it must be me. I suck. Nobody likes me anymore. My channel is done. I need to just give up and find another thing to do with my life because it's over. This is where my mind goes. Another thing I heard is there's a podcast I was listening to with the guy who manages a bunch of big rappers like Future and Nas and I forget who else, but he said that Spotify streams are down as well, which also kind of surprised me. But then I thought about it, and it makes sense for the same reason that my podcast is way down. And I've talked to some other people who said the same thing. I saw an article on LinkedIn that confirmed this, like podcasts are down 20, 30%. And the reason for that, I think, is pretty obvious. The times where people listen to podcasts the most are commuting and at the gym, and neither of those things are happening right now. So it makes perfect sense to me that podcasts would be down. I wonder how many people are also consuming YouTube, or at least my YouTube videos at those times as well. That could be part of it. I don't know. But in any case, that stuff's down. What hasn't played out yet is brand deals and Patreon. And what I mean by a brand deal is the sponsored reads I do in a video, like for Manscaped or Skillshare or whatever. And those actually pay more than YouTube ads. So they're kind of a big deal if they go away. Brand deals are still the same as ever for right now, but that's because most of those were signed in the past 6 to 8 weeks. So I would expect that those will be slow over the next few months. I hope not, but I expect that they will be, because I think a lot of companies are pulling back. But, pulling back, and I'm saying this not out of self-interest, but for anybody out there who has business to run, or, just wants to understand this stuff, pulling back on marketing during a time like this is generally a very bad idea. Think about, what do you need in a time like this? You need more income, more revenue, right? And marketing is the thing that brings in more revenue. This is like turning off the faucet in a drought. It generally does not make sense. Cut costs for sure, but not marketing. That is the last thing you should cut. If you have to cut it to stay alive, then do it, but that should be the very last thing that you cut. But anyhow, I expect that brand deals will dry up a little bit. We'll just have to see how that goes. YouTube ads as well, I would expect will go down. The way that works is that you get paid, it's called a CPM, the cost per thousand, because I guess M is Latin for 1,000. The average CPM that I get is $7 per 1,000 views. And that's not how much I get. That's how much YouTube gets. And then I get half of that, basically. And I would expect that number will go down. So if it was $7 in January, which is like the last number I looked, it's probably going to be like 4 or 5 for the next couple months. And so I'm going to take a hit there, but that's okay. As a creator, you have to expect that, shit's going to happen. You just got to deal with it. So that's like my YouTube and podcast side of things. As far as my day job, URM Academy, we have not really been hurt by it yet. So for anyone who's not familiar, what we do, it's an online school for music producers. And the way it works is that every month you get the raw multi-track files for a song by a band that you like. And then at the end of the month, the producer who mixed the song comes on to do a live stream where they show how they did it on the actual album. This month we have Opeth and Leprous. And the guy who mixed it is named David Castillo, and he lives in Sweden. Those live streams, we either travel to them or they travel to us. Like, we can go to their studio or they can come to us. It just kind of depends on the situation, which one we do. But those are not going to happen because the borders are closed. It's literally impossible for us to go to Sweden. Last month, we canceled the live stream that we had in Canada, which sucks. But fortunately, our users were forgiving. I think they understood that there's literally nothing we can do about it. So we're still giving people the files for like last month, we had Shadow of Intent and Beyond Creation. And we're still giving people the files to the albums. We're going to do those live streams later when we're able to, but I really appreciate that people understand. I was kind of thinking that they might be angry, understandably so, but so far they haven't been. I think they understand there's literally nothing we can do, and so I really appreciate their support on that. I also expected that we would lose a lot of members. We have a few thousand members, and I was expecting us to lose hundreds like overnight. As soon as the shit hit the fan and this stuff, I thought people would cancel every membership that they had. And we have lost some people, but not a lot, like, on the order of dozens rather than hundreds. I expect that will probably increase as, the economy gets even worse and even more people are laid off and stuff over the next couple months. I would expect we'll lose even more people from that, which I totally understand. But our strategy here is that we want to be the last. We want to give you so much value that we are the last thing you get rid of. So we want you to get rid of Netflix and Hulu and Showtime and whatever else you have, like, before you get rid of Nail the Mix, which is our service. And so we're really doubling down on all these like community engagement things we do. Like, we're doing a bunch of live streams, we're doing more contests, just giving people lots and lots of stuff to do and tons of content while they're locked down. But either way, we have always been, I think, financially responsible with our costs. The company is 100% remote. We don't have a lot of fat to trim. I mean, I think especially in the last year, I did a lot of stuff to keep our business lean and mean and super efficient because I knew that something bad was going to happen. We were going on like year 11 of like an unprecedented like boom cycle in the economy, and I knew that that wasn't going to last forever. Not to say like, oh, I'm so smart, I saw this coming, because obviously nobody saw this particular thing coming. This is a black swan event that by definition nobody saw coming, but I knew something was going to happen, and I wanted to be prepared for, you know, when the tide goes out, to make sure that we've got pants on. And so far, cross my fingers, so far we've done okay. On a personal level, the only real thing I have to complain about is it's a little bit harder to work out because, you know, I do jiu-jitsu 3 times a week, and our gym, actually I was going 4 times a week for a while, and our gym is closed by law, so I can't go do that. I also have a regular gym membership that's closed. They even closed, we live in a condo complex, and the little gym in our complex is even closed too. So the only thing I can really do is either go for a run, which, you know, is fine as long as it's not raining, or do body weight workout stuff at home, which I kind of hate doing because I feel weird working out on carpet. But, you know, if that's the biggest problem I have, then I'm happy, because I know there's a lot of other people that are going through way worse shit. I consider myself incredibly fortunate that, you know, I haven't been hit very hard by this thing yet, because I know there's a lot of people that are just totally fucked by it, and my heart goes out to them. So yeah, that's just kind of an update on how it's affecting me and my wife and the businesses that I work on. Like I said, hopefully it's helpful to hear that other people are going through the same things that you are, or, you know, maybe there's something I said that might be helpful. I hope. I also made a video a couple weeks ago about what to do in a recession that may have some helpful advice, so you can check that out if you want. And yeah, I'll let you guys go for now, but thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.